Greetings, everybody. This is review will be Blade, starring Wesley Snipes, Chris Christopherson, and Steven Dorff. Now I gotta mention how much of a powerhouse this film was. I mean, talk about a lot of firsts in this for this film. I mean, you got the first successful R-rated superhero movie and the first successful black superhero movie, 20 years before Black Panther, which of course a lot of people don't might not know, but Wesley Snipes actually lobbied to get a Black Panther movie made in the 90s, but we got Blade instead, which was a fair trade for kind of deal back then, and especially of an excellent of a superhero film, vampire film. I mean, something for everybody. And talk about some excellent side characters of Whistler and Karen. Maybe like In Bush Wright. Not sure how to pronounce that name, but I gotta give an excellent nod to Chris Christopherson in his portrayal of Whistler. And I was surprised to find out that Whistler was not an original comic book character until in the '90s when the Spider-Man series came around, and they did like those episodes, and a lot of difference in those ones where in the cartoon where Blade rode a Harley and carried a lightsaber type sword, which is kind of weird. But then again, kid shows had like limited had rules on weapons and all. And of course, he got with Whistler, played excellently by Chris Christopherson. Surprised they didn't get Christopherson to do some music for the soundtrack, though, given that he's also an iconic one of the iconic Highwaymen. But excellent, and given I've heard that Mahershala Ali is going to do the reboot for the MCU, I gotta think who should play Whistler for that one. My leading candidates had to be either Stephen Lang, Sam Elliott, or Don Swayze. Maybe Bruce Campbell because he's one of the most iconic names in horror. Because got to do that, and it was excellent that Blade got to be R rated, because which proved R rated superheroes didn't have to pander to kids. And I mean, come on, adults like superheroes too. I mean, come on, that's why Deadpool was a hit and Bloodshot was not. And of course, you got with the excellent portrayal of Wesley Snipes as the titular Blade. I gotta say I gotta say, talk about how perfect that's along with Christopherson as Whistler. Talk about two actors that were perfect for their roles, and of course, Stephen Dorff as the dastardly Deacon Frost, who was the arch enemy of Blade. Man, I'd say that's kind of Dorff's best role, period. And talking about some excellent scenes like at the beginning where he's going to when they're in the nightclub and then blood starts pouring down and all, and then woo, and then Blade shows up and then starts hacking and slashing, and guns ablazing. Then at the temple where the little hidden vampire temple where which was pretty much the whole plot of the movie, where Blade was where Deacon Frost were supposed to have their showdown, and then Frost throughout the movies having his having it had that little had that hellmouth kind of deal, and with that secret society, which of course was superhero things, I mean vampires period, where it was Blade, Van Helsing, Buffy. It's always got to be a secret society of. And another thing I was an excellent change from the comic book was the cartoon that episodes of Spider-Man where he and Spider-Man teamed up against Morbius. It was going from Harley, which made him look more like Black Renegade. And I'm talking about the 90 series starring Lorenzo Lamas. And then, of course, in the movies, in the actual whole trilogy, where he's got the Dodge Charger. Talk about one of the coolest cars ever made, the second generation Dodge Charger, which I say is between 68 and 70. I mean, it's like Blade channeled his inner Duke boy with that film adaptation, and of course with excellent action scenes and brutal kills, like when Blade comes across that really fat vampire, which reminds me of that alien guy from the X-Men, which tried to get the aliens, you know trying to get the X-Men to do like a aliens Hunger Games type show. Back to Blade, where almost epic kills like that guy, and then Frost and he takes on that other vampire goon that just by yanks the helmet off, because one way a vampire's gonna hang out in daytime is if they're wearing big flappy cowboy hats or biker helmets with a face shield down and covered and all, because vampires in sunlight, which of course in this adaptation, garlic, the cross thing is the only time it didn't work, because while Blade's ever had the silver blades, the trick blades where only Blade himself could use, and of course with silver rounds and possibly garlic laced rounds. Been a while since I last seen it, but hey, when it comes to vampires, it's as a plot. You're going to buy a vampire film. That's a plausible way to kill. Kind of like back in Prohibition, when gangsters would do the same thing up with runes. Well, off topic, but overall, I have to give Blade a 5 out of 5, because just being a groundbreaking powerhouse of being the first successful black superhero movie and the first successful R-rated superhero movie, and just an excellent film in general, and along with the badassery of Wesley Snipes. And I gotta say, this has got to be personally my favorite role of Wesley Snipes, where he was a good guy. And I like Wesley Snipes. He's one of my favorites. So there's that. So talk about. I mean, gotta have. This movie is lit. And I say an excellent 5 out of 5. Enjoy, people.